think her microphone's turned off.
Hi.
There you are.
Yeah, here I am.
Mute it.
I'm supposed to mute it right away. So hi, everybody. Last week it sort of caused a problem. So anyway, how's everybody?
Good.
Good.
I guess good. We're all here so far.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to mute it now. So goodbye.
Okay.
Hey, Superintendent Johnson, how are you?
Well, I'm doing okay. I'm stuck to this chair though. It's kind of like this is the permanent part of my body now.
I hear you. I think your truck never leaves the parking lot over there.
I see it. I look at it a lot.
Well, you're not racking up any miles that way.
I think I've worn out this chair though. It was a comfortable chair a few months ago. Now it's like, I think I'm fat on the board of it. Hey, look at those peoples.
David, how you doing?
Unmuted.
How are you? I'm good.
Turn the mute button off, will you?
Yeah, I like it. How are you guys?
Good. How are you guys doing?
How come Amy is just looking down? She all froze up, not even looking at me.
Ashley, are your kids driving you crazy yet?
Yeah, I've been there for about 4 weeks now. I've been home for 61 days. Today was day 61.
Oh,
Let
my
me just say you're looking
right?
good.
Oh boy,
Next
it's
season's
something
over,
else.
so embrace it. I never had 61 days with my kids. Come on.
I know. Well, I'm working
Wrong with
too,
this
but
younger generation.
we're having a good time. We're having a darn good time.
After a bottle of wine, you're saying we're having a damn good time, right?
Yeah.
The rest of these
I've noticed
people need to
steady
go with you
line
to
in and-
Portland.
I saw a thing on Facebook that says if you keep a glass of wine in each hand, you never have to worry about touching your face.
There you go.
Hey,
They actually post that?
that's some social rules to go by.
I was in a Zoom meeting at work the other day, and I kid you not, this guy kept chewing his fingernails and picking his nose, and it was just too much for me to handle.
Did you ask me if he was hungry?
I'm like, dude, have you read the news lately?
I like these meetings a lot better than the face-to-face, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're a little more jovial. Johnson, you're looking good.
Thank you, David.
What's
Good.
that on your chin?
Oh, yeah. Got a little bit of thing going here.
I like it.
What about me, David? How do I look?
You're looking younger every day, man.
Joel has been
Look
fishing.
like Jim.
He wants people to notice his haircut.
Yeah. I trimmed my own hair.
Hey, if anybody needs a cut and color, give me a call. I'll make an appointment for you. Wear a mask.
Buzz cuts for everybody.
Oh. Marilyn, how are you tonight?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. Hi, everybody that I didn't say hi to before.
Hi, Marilyn.
Hi.
I'm gonna go take my contacts out. I'll be right back. I just wanted you to know what I'm gonna do.
Okay, we'll trust you to be back. Somebody will, anyway. Candace?
You're counted
Yes.
in the quorum, so you're back.
So just as an FYI to everybody, we are live now on YouTube. And we do have some folks watching from YouTube. So there you go.
Did we just start on YouTube, I hope?
I think we've been on for about a few minutes, just a few minutes. There's a little bit of live stream delay, as it turns out. About maybe like a 5-second.
Well, that's a good thing. Lacey, how are you?
Can you hear me? Am I muted already or not?
We can
hear you.
barely hear you.
Is she on board?
Oh, you can? Oh, fantastic. Okay, now I have to figure out how to mute myself because at some point, oh, there's my mute button. Okay. Joel, I have
No.
a question for you. I'm using the school iPad for this, and on gallery view on an iPad, I only have 9 views. Is there a way to show more? Or is that just because the screen is limited, so Apple has said 9 is the appropriate number?
You should
know-
be able to like a finger over and you can swipe your screen to see the other people. You
Oh,
see a
there we
little-
go. Now I can see Shirley and you, Amy. Hello.
Hi, I'm still here.
Okay, fantastic. Okay,
Yeah, that
thank
wasn't.
you.
Yeah, I was trying to. She was doing my voiceover for me. That was really cool, by the way.
Got it.
Great answer, Amy. Thank you very much.
So Joel, does it say how many people are visiting with us on YouTube?
Yes, actually, we have 11 people watching right now.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Probably from here to all the way down to California. We'd be live.
Is Adam and Shirley gonna make it?
Adam isn't going to be here tonight.
And
But-
Shirley's here.
This year, Brandon will be on board at some point, I believe.
Brandon's here now. He's coming online.
Switch to which. So we got Brandon and Shirley. Well, it's 7 o'clock. Should we get started? Hi, Lacey. I can see you now.
Okay, great.
Okay, it's 7. So we want to start the Cresswell School Board meeting for May 13th, 2020. We do have a quorum. So if you got, everybody would join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To
to
the
the
flag
flag of the
of the
United
United
States of
States of
America
America
and
and
to
to
the
the
republic
republic
for
for which
which
it
it
stands,
stands,
One
one nation,
one nation,
Under
under
God,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with
with
liberty
liberty and
and
liberty
justice
and
for all.
justice for all.
Oh, great. Thank you all for being here tonight. If anybody out there has any questions they want to direct to the board or to anybody, probably the best way to do it would be to take notes during tonight's meeting and especially next week's budget meeting, and email them to us at the district office in the morning. And we'll be more than happy to answer whatever questions you might have. And I'm sure there's going to be some questions coming up with today's conditions we're facing, both with the virus and the economic conditions out there. So email us some questions. We'd be happy to answer them. Okay, let's move right along. Let's grab a motion for the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda for today, May 13th.
Okay, do we
I
have a
second.
second? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're unanimous. Okay, can we have a motion on the consent agenda, please?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second, please? All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, we're unanimous. Okay, unfinished business, information, the COVID-19 update. Mike, you want to do that, please?
Absolutely. So just as an ongoing item, just to keep everyone updated on where we're at with this awesome distance learning and the things that we're doing here at the district level. We're continuing to provide our meals for our students and families. And so we're about 11 to 12,000 meals a month. That's breakfast and lunch. We're continuing to improve. We're learning with our online instruction and also with our distance learning strategies. In fact, we are even making a lot of progress at this point. We're getting to the place where we're making videos and preparing for events that we normally would do live and in our schools, such as the kinder orientation video that's coming out. Woo! They got one going on there. Let's see, we also had an event to celebrate our Teacher Appreciation Week. Each school did with their parent community, with their teachers, and they can talk to you about that a little bit. Our IRC program is continuing, and our volunteers are videoing themselves reading, and then those are shared with our students in classrooms. So that's continuing and going well, and we really appreciate our IRC volunteers and the work that they're doing to help with literacy. Let's see, we're moving forward to prepare for next year. So master schedule development and then also in developing schedules for students moving to next year. And working on transitions from one grade level to the next, one school level to the next, and those transitions activities. Promotions as well from 5th to 6th, 8 to 9, and our graduation celebration ceremony. And Brandon can talk about that a little bit, but all those activities are in motion, as well as other senior activities for scholarship awards and such things as that, internships, etc. And you know, I know this is tough on everyone, and it's tough on parents, but the work doesn't stop. It just keeps on going. And we have an excellent leadership team in the district, and they are supporting our staffs, and our staffs are picking it up, and they're moving and any direction that we need to help our students and our families at home. And while we're getting more efficient on our end, then we're able to support parents on the other end and students while they're receiving and sending information about their learning. So that's what I have for other than we're going to be closed for the rest of the school year. That's still, and the governor has extended the closure. So we're through the school year and into now July 31st.
Hey, Mike.
Yes, David.
Yeah. Do you know if Governor Brown is a football player or a football fan or? Just thought I'd throw it out there.
Not sure about that one.
I'm living COVID every day at Peace Health, but I'm just curious about the fall.
We at each of the sites, I know our principals are working, and Amy Aguero, they're working with the staffs there. Amy Aguero is working on supporting our students with some extra support for their needs, and our specialists at the buildings are doing an awesome job. She can talk about that a little bit later if you want to hear about it, but that's kind of a sticking point across the state and the country, is how to support kids on the other end that have some of those exceptional or extraordinary needs. And boy, I'll tell you what, her team is really getting after it. They're working hard at it. None of this is perfect, but I'll tell you what, it's not for lack of effort. And research, a lot of research we're doing on this team to find strategies to bring in to make connections on the other end. And also we're collaborating endlessly. I mean, this is a highly collaborative district. And so, but with that, I'll let the others, if you have questions about their schools and things, you'll see it in their reports and they can speak to those highlights.
Mike, a quick question for you. I know at some point school will be officially over, but is there any way that the meals will go on this summer, or will it just stop when the school's out?
Yeah.
Is there any funds available anywhere to help with that?
The community is providing food for the summer. That will
Okay.
continue. And we've been talking with them about how to facilitate that. If parks are closed, how would they distribute food? And so we're working something out with them where they can follow the same procedures that we have here, and they can use our site since our community knows the routine here on the drive-through and the grab and go.
Oh,
So
great.
that's something that we're communicating out to them. Yeah.
Oh, great. All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Any questions for Mike from anybody? Okay, let's information, budget assumptions. You're on again, Mike.
So on the budget assumptions, we're right now, I mean, the economic picture is pretty fluid, and it's really unknown the full extent of this, the closure and the economic impact on our state. But right now we're going on our March estimate, so we're still focused or planning our budget on $9 billion. And on May 20th, we'll see what happens with the governor's revenue estimate. But the governor has also sent out messages in regards to what she's getting as far as the forecast on the economic impact. And so what she's communicated is that we're looking at a 17% shortfall in state revenue, mostly from income taxes. because our economy is pretty flat and income is taking a huge loss in the state. And so that 17% is a projection for this biennium. So the current year that we're in and next year. What it amounts to really, if you break it down, is an 8.5% hit on 1920 and an 8.5% on 2021. But because 1920 has already been received, we already received our funding for 1920, those two amounts total a 17% shortfall in the biennium. And that amounts to $3 billion on a statewide hit for the general fund. And the result of that for K-12 education is $653 million. And it's and that's going to hit next year in 1 year. So for us, that would result in about $650,000 reduction in our budget. As I said, the next state revenue forecast will be on May 20th. And those numbers, whatever the governor, the economists say to the governor, what they factor to be the dollar amount, will be communicated at that time. But because of the shortfall, it's anticipated that there will be a special legislature session in late June to determine how to resolve that shortfall. Looking at all funding sources and reserves. We know we have a little bit coming in from the Federal Relief Act, the CARES Act of 121 million, but 121 million doesn't go far against 3 billion, but it helps. So that's where we're at with our budget update. We'll continue to move forward on the 9 billion. We need to have spending authority up to that amount. So when we begin our budget committee meetings, we'll be focused on that. And we'll look to see how the governor and the legislature work this out. It's going to take some time for that to happen. I've been collaborating with Anna and having discussions and picking her brain, and we've seen this before. We know how this kind of ripples out into the following years. So while I'm concerned about the 17% that they're estimating for this biennium, I know that it isn't going to be over when we get into the next biennium. So thinking about 2 years out and what it means and how we can start to create some cost-cutting strategies to start putting some money away to carry over into those troubled times, along with our current contingency, is the goal. And so in preparing for next year and the year after, we've implemented some strategies. 3 weeks ago, I talked to the district leadership team, and the goals, the priorities are to maintain staffing levels where they're at. We want to roll up staffing levels. So that's our first priority. We want to avoid layoffs and RIFs, bad stuff. We want to stay away from that and minimize the impact on instructional days. In particular, days when we're person to person next year. Because if we don't have instructional days, or we decrease instructional days when kids are actually live here on campus, that's a huge loss. So Currently, well, as of 3 weeks ago, I informed the leadership that we were going to be on a hiring freeze, and we were only going to be making those hard to fill hires. So vacancies that we have for those hard to fill positions like special ed teachers and our school psychologists or whoever, principals, we need to also fill teaching positions to keep our student teacher ratio where it's at. We want to maintain our staffing level, so those positions will fill, but we're not going beyond those into any other areas that we had identified to bring in as additional supports for our kids or to decrease teacher-student ratios. So I also, 3 weeks ago, implemented a restriction on spending. And right now or as of that time, we were focused on projects that had already begun before we went into the closure and or COVID-related purchases. Because COVID-related purchases, we can actually get reimbursed for. So those are where we're at. That's where we're at with our current budget outlook. There is another strategy that I learned about here recently. And we have an opportunity. Oh, first of all, yeah, we have an opportunity to increase cost savings of up to $200,000 on an estimate here by reducing employees' work time by 20% with furlough days for the remainder of the year. If approved by the board and agreed by the associations, it's a collaborative thing here, and approved by the state for work share reduction unemployment, implementing furlough days would offset the funding shortfall and would prevent layoffs and also additional furlough instructional days into the next year. So I don't know if you want me to go forward with this. I know there's an action item on it. Do you want me to continue or wait until the action item comes up?
Well, let's get a motion on that. And then we can maybe, if some questions come up, we can talk about it then.
Okay.
Let's go into that new business action item, approve the temporary reduction in work time. Do we have a motion on that, please?
I move to approve the temporary reduction in work for this spring.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Okay, any questions on that, or Mike's kind of give an overview of what's going on with that. Does anybody have any questions on what's happening there?
I have a little bit more about that if you want. That would probably, if you have questions, this might answer them, but so the way we would look at this, if approved by all four, the associations, the board and the state, we would go forward to have those furlough days on Fridays of the remaining weeks following this week. And in addition to that, all 12-month employees would continue 4-day weeks with furlough days through the end of the CARES Act on July 31st. July 31st is the end of the opportunity for us to participate in the federal work shares provision for unemployment. And so all of this is contingent around the reduction application approval for work share, which we should be hearing about after this meeting within a week or week and a half. No more than 15 days. That's the time limit on the application. If we don't hear from the state within 15 days, then we're automatically approved.
Oh, it is? Okay. David, you have a question?
So I just wanted to say, I really appreciate the work and thought that has gone into this. And I believe our district will follow suit, just because of the strong relationships and rapport that we have created over the last many years. But I did want to give a big shout out to Mike Johnson for this. And I'm hopeful this will just go through. But I did want to say thank you, Mike.
You're welcome. And that reminds me, I might add that both associations have approved the application to move forward. Once the board approves, then I'll work with them on MOUs regarding the furlough days. And then we'll be waiting to hear back from the state.
I think that's a great idea. It's a win-win for everybody. Candace, yep.
Yeah, I have a question. So did I hear you say 4 for teachers, and how many was it for the 12-month staff?
We'll be going through July 31st. I want to see how this works for us for the next few weeks.
Okay.
And, I don't want to impact our employees beyond that. If it's going to be an impact, I don't anticipate that. But if it all rolls out the way that the federal law permits, then we'll move that on forward to the 31st of July, if possible. June 30th for sure.
So hey, this is David. I just wanted to say that after extensive conversations, I really believe this is a win-win for our employees as well as the district. And so again, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor, raise your hand, please. That's unanimous. Okay, we're passed. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, trustee reports. Mark, you still there? Mark? Did we lose you?
Nope, I'm here.
Oh, okay. You been
So,
up to anything exciting?
no, not really. The only thing I've done is continue on with working with my disabled veteran shut-in. Other than that, that's pretty much all we've done.
David? You're up.
I've been working a lot at Peace Health with COVID-19 and the Incident Command Center. So steady as she goes. Again, another little shout out to the leadership at Cresswell School District with Mike Johnson and all of our administrators. It's nothing shy of quite impressive. I've actually I haven't been out a lot, but I did run into a few parents, and I want to say a big thank you to all 3 of our schools in how they have led in leadership with their teachers to help parents and all students to build their confidence in this new world we're in temporarily, and we don't know how long it's going to be, but I've heard a lot of positives, which is so refreshing in during this challenging time for all of us in the world. I've heard from teachers, I've heard from students, and I've also heard from the parents. And I have to say, in some ways, I think the most challenging has been for the parents. Maybe that's just my experience, but kids are catching on, and teachers are getting in the groove. They weren't trained for this, but I have to kind of go back to leadership and it's new for leadership as well, but I do want to make sure it's recognized that the Cresswell School District, we're on the map, and our students are getting everything that they can today that's possible from our district because of the heart of our leadership and from the heart from our teachers. And I no longer have children in the district. I just want to say thank you to the administration. And again, it's amazing. This is what Cresswell's all about. And I just see us growing and with the changes. So thank you to all of you. And I've heard thank yous from kids, teachers, parents. But again, I think the parents are the ones maybe they're struggling a little bit. I've heard more parents say like, I don't know how they do math. So anyway, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Lacey, have you been up to anything?
I would just echo David's gratitude, and I'm extremely proud of our district. And besides just trying to keep up with my job, which is full-time, and I'm very grateful for that as well. And parent, that's about all I can do right now.
All righty. Candace?
I think I'm in the same boat as everyone else. I think David says it well, so we can echo what David said. And I haven't got a lot of district work done this last month, but not there's been a lot for us to do it. You guys have it under control. So thank you for taking the time and the energy and really stepping up in this really difficult time. So I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you. Ashley, there you are. There you are. Are you getting to be a better teacher?
Yes, I'm still not even close to Teacher of the Year. And I actually saw a funny thing the other day, and it said, tell the teachers that said my kids were a joy in class, they're lying. So we're just working and teaching and getting through.
Oh, good. Myself, I've heard a lot of really good positive comments from the kids, from the parents. The blogs that Mike was involved in with Doug were really great. It's getting a lot of information out there. It just, the administration, the teachers, all you guys are doing a really, really good job, and I really appreciate it. And I'm hearing that from the community. But I think the parents are having the roughest. They're not trained teachers, and it's the math, I think, has been the worst for them. But no, with what we're given, you guys are doing a whale of a job. And thank you very much. Okay, moving right along. Business. Any questions for Anna, or any business related questions?
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Just real quick, just stepping back just a second. I always call Mike, I call him Johnson, and then we got the Amy, and I was telling Mike, I'm like, I'm gonna start calling him Hollywood after that interview with Doug Allison and Amy. Wow, who would have known? Did your parents know? I'm talking to Oscar here. And I look forward to, when do those come out? I don't know, February or something. But anyway, I'm talking, Johnson Henry, this is big stuff. And this went viral. It's quite impressive, but I did want to give a shout out to the genuineness and the heart that, I'm all about that. And it was really something. Lacey sent me a little note, and she's like, hey, check this out. And, I was telling everybody about it because it was that good the first time around. And I probably watched it, 3-4 times. And I even got my in-laws watching it. I got a lot of my sisters, my nephews, nieces, but I just say that times like this, I've never been more proud of Cresswell. And I'm Marilyn's got me beat, but we are all about Cresswell, and you guys together, wow. It's impressive. And I want to say thank you and keep up the great work, and just a big thank you. I don't think I can say thank you enough.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, sir. Okay, any questions for business, Anna? Lacey, go ahead.
Anna, I just wanted to touch base with you on how you're feeling about the food services fund. I see that balance available is projected to drop to about 2,000. I know that fund always runs tight anyway, but I don't have a memory of how tight. Are you concerned about that fund, or are you feeling like that's staying within the range of what it's done the past couple of years? Oh, and you're muted, Anna. I can't hear you. I'm
Uh-oh.
not very good at reading lips. Thank you.
We
I
can
think
hear.
you're on. Oh, nope, you're muted again. No, you're still muted. There we go. You're on.
Says I'm unmuted.
Yep,
There
you're
you
good.
are.
We can-
Okay, so yeah, I'm okay with food service. I mean, it runs a little tight. It was kind of, I wasn't quite sure how much we were going to get reimbursed with this,
Mhm.
with the current model. But I saw the first month's reimbursement and it looked good. So yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay, all right. That's really good to know. Thanks for giving me that quick gut reaction on that.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions? If not, moving right along to transportation, any questions there?
Hey, this is David. Please, Anna, give a shout out to Sarah and the drivers. You know, I'll be honest, I don't know if the other districts are doing all the great work we are to get food out to children, but again, I think it shows what a special community. I mean, a lot of us old timers, you know, we've got Joel, Marilyn, Shirley, you know, there's some of us that know the heart of Cresswell. And isn't it cool that so many kids are getting food that can't get to school, that don't have the luxuries that most of us have at home? Like, you know, we come home and like, "Oh, hey, what do you feel like having for dinner?" And, you know, these kids, maybe they've never had that, or maybe it doesn't happen very often. And so, you know, Sarah has done an amazing job in the last years. And again, another shining department for Cresswell School District, because they care about kids. And, you know, kids can't learn if they don't have nutrition. And, you know, they're gonna feed right into kindergarten, and then they're in Amy's school, and or what do we say, the Amy's, you know, and isn't it make you all feel good? You know, not that we're doing it, but our district, because we have caregivers. I'm from Peace Health. We have employees who have heart, and, you know, it makes me feel good. I have grandkids now, and, you know, kids, they want food, you know? So, but thank you. I just think it's so impressive. I'm so proud that my family would be so proud. Marilyn's parents. I mean, you guys got to know our roots are so deep, and you people new into Cresswell are just getting a glimpse of what we have experienced, and Shirley's lifetime career. And it's really something. And now we got Johnson at the helm, or Hollywood, like I like to call him now. But I mean, you know, you guys are catching on, and we got great board members, directors. But you know what makes me feel so good? You guys have heart, and thank you. And I hope that gets passed on to Sarah and the drivers And I know you guys think I go on and on, and oh, he's the big cheerleader and all this, but if you don't get it, I get it.
But yeah, Donna and her team and food service have been doing a really great job of getting the meals out to kids. And Donna figured out how we can get some hot lunches out on the buses. And it wasn't entirely, one of the reasons we did that is we're short on the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that she sends for cold lunches. There's a national shortage of those. So it wasn't all altruistic. We're sending the hot food out because we have more of it. And using up the supplies that we already have in stock rather than buying more stuff, which is another part of the answer to Lacey, is that I don't really quite know how much we can use up right now versus what we have to purchase, but they're trying really hard to use up what we already have in stock, so we're not buying any more than we have to. And there's, every school district in the country is trying to do what we're trying to do as far as the lunches. So certain kind of packaged items are hard to get to. So Donna was like, I can send hot food out on the buses if we do this way. And I'm like, okay, do it. So yeah, the bus drivers are getting it out there, and the food service folks are just really doing a great job.
They are.
Oh, thank you. Did I skip technology? Any questions for Joel? Lacey?
I would just love to add, when I read Joel's report, I loved seeing the teamwork that is going on for all of the landscaping projects and the facilities projects. It really does remind me of the one team feeling, because we had educational assistants out there helping spread bark chips and paint and do other things. And I loved that teamwork. I loved seeing that. And it last month, I know Adam had called out the educational assistants for being such superstars at the high school by dividing out the students and making special connections with them so those kids don't get lost. And here our educational assistants are stepping up again and helping make our grounds fantastic. And so I think our classified staff are just amazing. And I just want to point that out, that they made me feel wonderful when I read that report from Joel.
Oh, thank you.
I'll add quickly though that I remiss by not adding their names to the report. So next month I will add their names to the report. So you'll see some names on there.
Thank you for the pictures though that came with that. That was great. Okay, any questions for Amy, Special Services? Any questions at all?
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
Can we have her just talk a little bit about what she's got going on there, because she's super fantastic.
Sure.
Come on, Amy, tell us what you got going on.
Oh, thank you. Well, I was sharing this morning in our admin meeting, I think one of the, for lack of better words, perks of COVID has been just the cohesiveness that has brought a multitude of staff members together to support families and students. So for example, we meet, there's a variety of teams meeting on a weekly basis, but one of those teams in particular is our Cresswell team that is supported by a variety of specialists, both certified and classified personnel. And we just run through our list of needs and supports, and the whole team is there to have a voice in supporting families. And it's pretty neat to see how, if there's a barrier with a classroom teacher or a special education teacher, sometimes we have our family resource coordinator who has communication and connections with the family, who's able to help step up and pass out a packet or make a communication, a mode of communication with that family. So all that to say, that's been a really neat piece that's come together because of COVID. And so we have teams that are working, as Joel mentioned too, working really well together. And I think the unity has been one of the most outstanding parts that have come from all of this. I'd say there's also a lot of work being done around transitions. As you know, we have 2 new administrators coming in, and so they've been able to join us, even though they're from California and Eastern Oregon. They've been able to join in some of those meetings because of the use of Zoom. And so they're already part of some of our teams, and they've been able to jump in and get to know some of our staff and hear about some of the needs and supports that we're trying to get into place for next year. We've also been working a lot on coming up with the crisis response protocols for the district. And so we have 4 different subcommittees that are working on some of the topics that we've talked about around suicide prevention and support, crisis response. We have 2 other teams that I'm drawing a blank on right now, but all that to say we have subcommittees that are working through those pieces too, just to get some systems and protocols up to speed as we jump into the next school year. So there's a lot of work being done behind the scenes to support K through 12, but I'd say that the unity that's come from that and the collaboration has been pretty outstanding.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, moving right along, admin. Any questions for Amy? You've got 2 minutes. What have you been up to?
There you go. Get her, Mike.
Amy,
Darn you.
the clock's on. 2 minutes. What have you been up
2
to?
minutes? I can't talk about it. I was just looking at my to-do list, and you know, it's there. I would just want to replicate a lot of what Amy's saying, is that teamwork that we've been able to accomplish while we're working remotely has been top notch. Our teachers are all figuring out different modes of communicating with each other and teaming and collaborating. It's very impressive. Our classified staff are all rallying and doing all hands on deck. Last week, we were able to bag up 600 and close to 30 bags of student things and have it available for kids to come pick up and families. And the teachers put such care into that. They added extra supplies and things that they knew that the kids would need at home, which was really nice. And we got rid of most of them. We still have probably about 60-ish bags still left to distribute. We are in the process of putting our kindergarten registration online, and I'm very excited about that. I'm hoping to have it launched before the end of this week. It all kind of is on the technical side now with Joel. We're going to have, Joel's the hang up. So we're going to have a video. Our kindergarten teachers and our team of kinder teachers actually put together a registration video where each of them talk a little bit about what kindergarten programming is like. And then we have an online registration form so we can get families registered for school using our website. And that has been phenomenal to get that up and running, just because that was feeling like it could be a big barrier for moving forward with next year's projections and knowing how many kinders are we going to expect. So that should be coming up here soon. Yeah, things are still plugging along. It actually feels like a little bit of a relief to start planning for next year, that there's hope that we're not going to be in this state of life forever. And so I think it's been pretty motivating for people to be thinking, you know, forward thinking to next year. The hope of us being all together again in the same building is pretty exciting.
Right.
How long was that?
Well, I hope it starts next year. I don't know. A little early to tell, I think, but thank you very much. Shirley, you've got 2 minutes. What's going on?
Well, honestly, I think things are going as well as can be expected, better than that, actually. A couple of things I'll just share. This again goes into the special ed department with breakout rooms. Today they had, this is not class time, this is office hours. And we had 14 students, all of our EAs and 3 gen ed teachers in helping kids for 2 hours, almost one-on-one, 1-on-2. It was fabulous to see the breakout rooms and the support that those kids are getting. It's, in my opinion, phenomenal. Another thing I thought was pretty cool with our 8th grade team, they decided to do this and it really worked. During seminar, the teachers asked the students to look around and see who wasn't there. And so they decided, and then the teachers told them, get on the phone. You guys have your cell phones, call them up and see how many you can get. And they were able to get a lot more kids just a seminar. And I think, you know, middle school people or kids, teachers too, miss their peers. So I think that was a great way to pull some of them back that, you know, might be starting to relax on coming to Zoom classes or doing their homework. So I thought that was pretty spectacular. And we're getting ready for next year too. So that's exciting. We've almost got a master schedule ready and planning for 8th grade promotion, creating a video for 5th grade. Just, it's good things are happening.
Great, good. Anybody have any questions for Shirley? Lacey?
Shirley, I just wanted to say I loved reading the response. I don't know that you had put in your board report from, I don't know if that was one student or multiple students' responses to the different questions. I love the questions that you're having them think through. It's the same thing that people are thinking through at night when we go to bed is like, okay, how could this be better when all of this is over? And I commend the teachers that are having them think about real life like that. And thank you for letting us read at least one response. I loved it.
Those are 6th grade responses, and 7th and 8th I'll put 7th and 8th grade responses in next year, but that was going back to the state. They actually provided the questions and just wanted to have the student's voice be heard. So great way to start certain classes. It's our bell ringer a lot of times.
I appreciated you sharing that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Shirley. Those were awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, did you say Brendan was here from the high school?
Yep.
Brendan, are you out there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's going on at the high school? You got 2 minutes.
2 minutes. All right. So last week we partnered with the elementary school as well and got locker items to kids and shop items, and got about half the students with those to parents and kids, which was awesome. We also turned in a bunch of textbooks and library books that were outstanding, which helps us with that inventory and getting that back. We're going to have another one of those next week, along with our cap and gown distribution to our seniors. So we've been working with that as well and getting our senior scholarship awards night in a couple weeks. We're going to be doing that virtually and awarding money to seniors and seniors of the year in certain subjects and things like that, which we're excited about to celebrate them. And then largely planning for graduation and what that ceremony will look like for our students and our families and our community. So kind of the end on the one side, and then like Shirley said, you know, we're doing some, and Amy said we're doing some transition talk for our freshmen since we didn't get a chance to have them over the campus for their day this year, that, you know, what that's going to look like for freshman orientation next year, and how we can get them prepared. I know leadership's working on a video to send out to the 8th graders that will help with that hopefully here in the spring. And so working on the ceremonies to get the seniors their recognition, and then as well as preparing for the incoming freshmen and starting it all over again. So you know, we're kind of the same boat, kind of, you know, we're excited to be planning for next year and looking, you know, to some normalcy hopefully, and you know, what that looks like for right now until, you know, we're told different. So I'm excited about the way the schedule shapes up. And I had a League 80 meeting today and talking fall sports. So hopefully we're optimistic that we'll get some sports in August and September, and hopefully maybe some camps and practices and workouts in the summer. So we're trying to stay positive and plan for the best.
Great. Any questions out there?
Hey, this is David. So I just wanted to say right there, that's K through 12. And I really appreciate that, Cameron, the way you like closed it out for, you know, we have the elementary, we have the junior or I went to junior high, but middle school and then the high school. And I just really appreciate like this team. You know, we've worked for a lot of years to get the K through 12, and I really think we're there. And you know, I just have to say it feels so good that I have confidence, and I believe that my cohorts do, that the administrators are able to ignite and motivate their teachers to connect in a new way. And we don't know what the future is for us, any of us in the world, but I think that tonight, what I'm hearing is, and what I'm feeling is pride, and um, you know, never be good to be boastful, but you know, being so proud of how you all have worked together with all of the team to connect with students. And again, you know, my days are numbered, and I just want to say that in the end, it's all about heart. And wow, so impressive. And I just want to say thank you. And I just think it's so cool that after all these years, all three buildings are united. And you know, maybe Shirley can even speak more. Like, we didn't always have this. It was kind of more like three little companies or something in this big system. And I continue to hear over the months about we are a family, we are one. You know, I'm not a Spartan fan. You know, they like to chant "We are one." You know, if you don't know who the Spartans are, it's Marist. But you know, I feel like we have made such movement in the last many years, and then with these grand hires. And you know, I love how the tenure of people, I love how what Shirley brings, the new people. I wish Adam could be here to hear this, you know, but you know, Brandon, thank you for joining, and the Amy's, wow. I mean, it's impressive. And I hope you guys feel, you know, half what I feel, because it's really something. And be proud of how you guys are all making such a difference in these children. You know, when we're all old, I know Johnson's bald, but you know, when you're old and bald and wrinkled, and you know, you're gonna hopefully, you know, got enough marbles that you can remember, wow, I made a difference in people's lives. And that's what it's about. These kids are gonna go on. Hell, we might have a president from Cresswell.
I have a question.
I don't like to talk politics. Don't get me wrong. You know,
Speak for yourself about being
vote how
old
you
and
want to
bald,
vote.
right?
I respect your vote, but you know, yeah, Hallie, she's got her head up like, oh, geez, shut up. You know. But I mean, like, I just want you guys to know you're appreciated, and thank you. You know, and Brandon, thanks for standing up. You know, stepping up for the high school. So that.
Candace, do you have a question or a comment?
I do. I have a question. So kind of for Brandon, or Brandon, maybe for you to think about, and you and Mike can get back to us. I was reading about the change in the graduation, and I've seen you guys have set things out. So if you guys want to have a conversation or let us know as a board how we can support this process, or participate or not participate, or whatever you need from us, right? That's what that role looks like differently, and how we can support the process going forward.
Okay. Oh, Lacey?
Yeah, can Brandon or maybe Mike share if there's any way the board can be involved in the high school graduation plans, or whether there's any way we can help or support? We love that process, and we want to be able to celebrate with our kids. So I don't know if you have enough details to share, but we would love to do that.
We had, while we were talking about how to put this planned this and all the different moving parts in it, the conversation did come up. So if the board would want to be present in some way at the ceremony, that is possible. And also with the promotions from 5th to 6th and 8 to 9, that's going to be on video too. So there's a way to get you involved in that. So if you want to be present at the ceremonies or the promotions, let the principals know so that they can figure out how to get you on video.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to be there. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Candace?
I do want to say I'd love to participate. I just want to make sure we're not taking away from families. So if for any reason we can't have a certain number of people or whatnot, I don't want to take away from the kids being able to have as much family support. But even if you want to make us worker bees or whatever to support the process, I think would be good.
They've been talking about the board or including the thought of having the board there while we were in the planning process. So
Okay.
it really is just kind of on you. And if you want to be there, we'll send you guys out a memo to let you know what's happening and how you can participate in those videos.
That'd
Thank
be
you.
great. Thank you. Okay, Mike, you're on.
Hold on, I very much want to echo
Oh,
Candace's
okay,
comment. But
sorry.
That's okay. I don't want to take away from the parents either. So, I mean, even if I don't need to be on video, I just want to be in the back corner clapping and cheering on those seniors that have done so much hard work. So that's how I want to share. And I would love to do that for each of the schools. So principals just know if I can be an extra cheerleader adding to the noise for those kids, I would love to do that.
Definitely.
I would
Yeah.
love to be a part of that also. That'd be great.
Hey,
Okay, Mike, you're on.
Hey, Mike, I just wanted to say one thing. Also, can we?
One thing.
You cut me off the last time, but
I didn't cut you off.
you did. Anyway, real quick, I just wanted to also extend this. However, educators and employees of the district who have been part of all these students that have gone through the program, let's include them as well, like we have in the previous several years now, of them being part of the graduation ceremony. And even if we're not part of the video, let's make sure we extend the invitation out to the educators and any employee that's been part of their education. And that I just want to make sure that everyone is included, because we've worked hard to encourage educators to be part of the celebration of their graduation. And that's it, Mike.
Okay, Mike, you're on now.
Okay. Well, you see, I haven't been out and about and around the state, but I sure have been involved with the statewide. Been involved with the COSA off the record meetings, and those meetings include Colt Gill and other state representatives. And then we process what we discuss in those off the record meetings at our Lane County superintendent's meetings. And then we kind of try to process how we can do things here at this end of the state and within Lane County. And, as superintendents, we have to support each other in this work. It's tough to do alone. I mean, but as a team, we work together really well, just as we do in the district. We're working that way as a county, and especially the small districts around Springfield and 4J. Our rural districts really get tight. We've become really close in how we're working through this. And then separate Oregon Department of Education meetings. And I kind of backed off of our Cresswell leadership meetings a little bit. So to kind of give our school leaders and other leaders in the district some opportunity to really get together with their teams. We were meeting twice a day, every day when this thing first started. And I was pulling some of them in on the weekends. I mean, we just had to really regroup and get organized to move forward. And then we reduced that down to, I think, maybe 2 meetings, 3 days a week. Yeah. And then we reduced it down to 1 meeting, 3 days a week. And then now we're down to 1 meeting a week. This is our second week of 1 meeting a week. So I miss them a lot. I mean, I really enjoyed collaborating with them that much. I mean, I could do that 2 meetings a day every day of the week for sure. But I know they're working hard. And then the Beeper Talk Show, now we're doing that, telecommuting too as well. So communicating. So we participated in the Beeper Talk Show last month and talked about how our district leadership got together and kind of formed this coalition and this bond and just really got shoulder to shoulder to work on this thing and get at it. And that was I got a good response after that talk show from her. She called me and said, hey, this was really good. You know, that was well received. So, and then we started the community blog interview sessions. We've done 3 now. I've done 1 on my own, then Hollywood Amy and I went in there and got 1, and then Adam was last week, and Shirley's going to be tomorrow. And then we have Amy Aguero and Joel on deck. And so, yeah, the community is going to get to meet and see the faces of each of the leaders in the district and hear the kinds of things that they're doing in their schools to support kids and help families on the other end. So that's been pretty cool and fun to do. I'm been collaborating in the Rural Schools Network. That's a network that works across the state. And we're hooked up with the U of O, their research center there, and Matt Coleman, who is also collaborating with Orange County in California. So a lot of the concepts and strategies that they're working on out in Orange County, which is a pretty wealthy district, very large, we're able to kind of look at those strategies and how we might use them in our smaller districts. And that's another networking group or a group that's good to network with. So on Lane County, statewide superintendents and the Rural Schools Network is kind of where I'm collaborating and getting a lot of communication and ideas about strategies that we can get involved in. And I do share that with our district leadership as well. I send them the emails, the notes from the meetings, and the strategies that they're implementing across the state and out in California. And also at the Superintendent's Academy and curriculum meeting. But I would say the highlight of my month is now my 1 meeting a week when I get together with the district leadership team. I really get pumped up for that meeting. Since it's only 1, now I have to get really excited. So that's what I've been up to this month.
Oh, okay. Hey, one thing I'd like to add, I've talked to Mike about, I think he sent an email to everybody, but I've got 2 or 3 companies that are approaching me about, does anybody in Cresswell need a job? One's a local mill out on 10th Street. They're hiring a bunch of guys, and there's this construction company in town that needs some help. If somebody needs some summer work, I don't know if the students or some of the parents of the students, but if somebody needs a job, I think they could probably go to work fairly quickly. But if there's any interest there, I'll have somebody get a hold of me and we'll see if we can't help them find some work. That may fit somebody, that may not, but I just wanted to throw it out there. Other than that, the main thing coming up is the next Wednesday's meeting to start the budget process. So hope to see you all there. And any requests you have to talk about during any of these meetings, please give us a holler, call, email, and we'll get it on the agenda somehow to talk about. Candace?
One thing, Debbie got a hold of me and she wants to apologize. She got distracted moving and forgot to come to the meeting. So she wanted to apologize to everybody.
Oh, she's moving?
Yeah.
I'd rather get beat with a stick than move. But seriously, any requests, give us a holler. But we'll see you all next Wednesday.
Mike, I
Yeah.
want to remind everybody the meeting is at 6:30 on next Wednesday.
6:30?
6:30.
Okay. Okay, 6:30 next week it is. And
Can I ask a
yeah,
question
Candace.
about? So
Yeah.
this year, since we normally get binders and things with the budget information, are you going to be sending that to us electronically, or what's that process going to look like?
It's going to go on the website, but we'll probably, well, if you guys want paper copies, I hope to have those available Monday.
Okay, great.
But we'll get a copy onto the website as soon as I have it. Because I mean, it's a PDF, so we can post it. And then let me or Mike know if you want paper copies, and we'll figure out how to get those to you.
Great, not me, but thank you very much.
Great.
One
Okay,
other
any,
comment
Lacey?
Thank you. One other
Yeah.
comment I'll add for the budget meeting next week is that we will be having a public hearing about budget committee. And so Mike or Joel will be providing all of us instructions on how to do that public comment. Because we really want to make sure that that goes well and is available. And it's new to us virtually. So we'll get instructions on that next week.
Oh, okay, great.
We've been working on it. We've got some guidance from OSBA, also from the Hungerfords. And we've been observing what other districts are doing that are following those same protocols. And I think we just kind of got it wrapped up today. Right, Joel?
Right.
Yeah, we did. And I'll send out some information to everybody so you guys are aware of that. It'll be a much bigger, I put that in my board report, but yeah, it's going to be a much bigger group. It's 21 participants because you have 7 board members, 7 budget committee members, and then the admin leadership, and then of course your audience. So a big group of folks involved.
Thank you, Joel, for helping with that. I think the public comment is really important. So I appreciate your help getting that going.
All righty, that's it then. Thank you all for attending, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye,
You,
everyone.
Bye.
All you be safe.